Om Shanti, everyone. Welcome to the Monday workshop. As always, every Monday we have a very special guest from a very deep spiritual experience who are going to share their personal experiences and inspire us to make a creative and innovative ways to progress on this path of spirituality. And today we have with us Brother Gokul, and he is on this marathon for more than 3 decades. I would say he might be easily 35 years in this Gyan. And one of the things I'm very inspired by Brother Gokul is his creative ways of dealing with some of the challenges that come. I want to come out clean now. I want to be very honest. I myself have created certain poked around Brother Gokul to test how does he deal when certain situations come, right? And I took a lot from that, from how he handled that situation. And there is a lot that we should learn from him. One of the main things I want to point out is he has the knack of laughing it off. And that is a very beautiful and very powerful tool that comes very handy when we are on this marathon. So there will be a lot of ego trips, there is a lot of Maya trips, there is a lot of games that mind plays, there's a lot of trips, challenges that comes within the family, because especially challenges come when you're closer to the family, right? Challenges are not coming from a bystander. It always comes from somebody who you are close to, right? And the challenges do come when you open up, and that is when the challenges come. That is where the family comes to help us out to get through this. And without any further ado, I want to invite Brother Gokul. He is one of our dearest brother who has this humility, and at the same time, he has a lot of self-honor, right? He has a lot of swaman. He is very solid inside, but he comes out very humble, and he's very humorous. He has a knack to smile off and then just get through. Saves a lot of time and energy, right? So welcome, Brother Gokul. Welcome.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Harsha, for that beautiful introduction and rightly pointing us and making us understand about this journey and what it entails. And me and Harsha go a very long way, and we always have very beautiful memories to share. I think drama has its own way, right? And it wanted me to be there, and it was always beautiful. And at any instance, if I get another chance, I would love to be there, back with that family, to be there and have those joyous moments relived once again.
Sunny California is always welcoming you.
Let's see what drama has in store. Thank you again. Thank you, everyone. And welcome to this Monday session. And when Harsha kind of gave me a brief on what exactly this session is and what it is, and to share some experiences, there was a lot which was coming to my mind. And I was thinking, wow, where do I even begin? So many experiences, right? You are all been in this journey, and you know what this journey is. It's beautiful to see. Never we understood the culprit to be sanskars, right? You're all in knowledge, so we can speak honestly, and we can have a very heart-to-heart conversation. And I encourage you, if you have any questions, please do pause and ask, if that's allowed. I don't know the format. Do we have the questions in the end or during the session?
So we can always, please leave your questions in the chat, and definitely
sure.
After halfway through, we can check in if anyone have any questions.
Sure. Definitely. Just so that if you ask a question, I know that such a question exists. It doesn't mean that I have an answer. Let me be very honest. So when you ask a question, I know, okay, such a question exists, and thank you for that. As long as you don't expect an answer from me, right? We have many more senior brothers and sisters with whom I can check and we can get back. But yes, that is what it is. Like coming back to the topic of, especially with sanskars, seriously, did we ever know that even a term like the sanskars and we need to work on it? I never used to know this, right? What do we do before knowledge, right? We don't work on sanskars. We just suffer, isn't it? We suffer. Our own sanskars is creating issues. It puts us in a spot and we suffer. That is our journey. You just close this your world for a moment and look at the outside world. Look at anyone there as a detached observer and see everyone is suffering. Don't go by the Facebook post which people put, right? Don't go by that snapshots, right? I call that as a snapshots, right? They might be in a very big fight, and then when they do a selfie, they all put a nice smiling face. They take the snapshot, they post it, and then you look at they are all having a wonderful time. Why is my life miserable? No, we know more, right? After being with Baba and understanding Murli, it's and the root cause of suffering. Many people try to define it in different ways, and we understand. Everyone is suffering because of our sanskars, right? It is only us to be blamed. If anything has transpired or anyone has poked at you or anyone has put you in a situation or no, they can't be blamed. If you still think they are to be blamed, let's do a meditation course all over once again, right? So I think this crowd doesn't need it. We know that. We know fully well. It's me. And that's the hard and bitter pill, right? So my journey, let me break it out. My sanskars, which I was working on. There is a sanskar which I was born with, which I got from my previous birth into my Brahmin birth. Many, right? Out of this, let's take as an example, one or two. And then there are certain sanskars which I'm being aware as now. And then there are certain sanskars which I know I need to reach, I need to get, right? We'll take it in 3 blocks, 3 chunks, right? The first set of sanskars are many sanskars which I know, I can understand. And there are many sanskars which I don't understand, but the rest of the people understand. And there are other sanskars which neither others understand nor you understand, but it is there. And like how we started the session, first have this very clear understanding. I am suffering means I have a sanskar which I need to work on, period. And even at this point, even as Brahmins, take a pause and let's really look. Is there any pain? Is there any discomfort? Is there any dis-ease? Is there anything you're still fighting with? Because these things shouldn't be there, right? If it is there, the only thing to check is a sanskar. There is something which I need to work on. If still I am fighting it, then yeah, there'll be a struggle for a long period of time, right? My one such sanskar, which I remember as a child, which I always had and struggled with, is being sensitive. Very sensitive. I was a very sensitive kid. And at the drop of the hat, my mood changes like this. And after coming into knowledge, you put things into perspective and think, oh, I don't know what's that, how it came, maybe from my previous birth. And through your sanskars, you can kind of put a puzzle together. And this is one exercise I would recommend all of you to do. Maybe you all can have a workshop and really go into the depths, right? Be in silence, go into silence and do this building block exercise. Try to understand, not the sanskaras of now, put that aside. Go back, understand the sanskars which you had, right? Everyone is comfortable with the term sanskar, right? It's patterns. Yeah. Understand those patterns, and then you can build an image of who you are or who you were in your previous birth, to an extent that you can even kind of get a hint what gender you might have been in your previous birth and how you used to be. Literally you can do that. May not be, it might be the right way or wrong way, but at least to kind of get an idea. And this exercise will help you understand how sanskars are deep and powerful. So for me, the first thing which I understood when I came into knowledge was I was a very sensitive person. And then I used to probe and ask my parents, and they said, yeah, you were a boy, yeah, very sensitive. And for that, drama has given me nice, good brothers. They will make sure that they will poke you at every given instance. That's why brothers are given. Right? So they won't take another this thing. They will take the opportunity to the fullest, and it kind of helped in my journey in understanding. And then I got Baba. And I remember, I don't remember the year, but when I was a young Brahmin, Prakash Mani Dati. How many of you know Prakash Mani Dati? Right? Yeah, good. She was our first administrative head. Now she left her body, and she gave a directive. She said, you all need to go on a silence, complete silence. This was a homework she was given. I think it was during the month of October or something. For a week or 2 weeks or something like that. She said, go on a silence wall. Just go into this dead silence. Right? Those were the days when we used to get these directions directly from Madhuban. And it was announced in the center, and we all said, okay, yeah, that is what it is. Don't get me wrong, just because I'm sensitive doesn't mean that I was a silent kid. No, I was boisterous, I was loud, and I make a lot of noise in my house. And my parents, you said, this guy wakes up, the house wakes up. This guy sleeps, the house sleeps. So that's how I was, very mischievous, very naughty. And but then slowly, when this was my initial time in knowledge and everything, still I had my old sanskars. And when I heard this directive, something struck me. Like when Prakash Manidadi's directive was read, it was said, go into silence, at least for a week. So our sisters announced it and said, who wants to go into silence? We will all do it together, and we will do it for so many weeks, 1 week or 2 weeks. And I think they decided, let's see if we can do it for 3 months, something like that. I said, wow, 3 months in silence. I was toying around with that idea. I went to Baba's room. I sat there. Something in tell me, Gokul, you should do it. If not anything, you need to try this out. 3 months of silence. So I told my sisters, yeah, I'll do it. So she put my name in there. I went, I don't know, then with that enthusiasm, you say yes to something. And then you step out of the center. And like Baba says, right, Maya is right by the door. You step out of the center, then reality strikes in. How am I in the world going to be in silence? Here I just finish my graduation. I'm doing my post-graduation diploma course. I have to go to college. I have my parents. I have my brothers and my, what am I going to even tell them? So I was there. I went there. Let me put it aside. Let me take it as it comes. So I went home and then I was there and there was few guests. We all were enjoying, we are laughing and saying something. And I was cracking jokes after jokes. I was saying this. And then all of a sudden, oh, they are laughing and they said, come on, can you go in silence for a change? Literally, this came out of my mother's mouth. I say, literally, what should I do for you to go into silence? This is what she said. And I literally looked at her. Can I asked, sure, please, I'll do anything if you can go into silence. How about 3 months of silence? I said, oh, that will be heaven for us. I said, oh, okay, fine. And literally the next day onwards, it was a journey which I can still remember. It was so profound. My goodness. I said, yeah, I'm going to be in silence. And boom, the first day, silent. They all kind of ignored. Second day, third day. By the time I reached the first week, oh boy, it was literally a volcano inside, ready to erupt. Like, you know, you don't know another way to express yourself. I've been trained all through my known living life. The way to express is through your words. And now all of a sudden I put myself in the box that no, I'm not going to use words. Literally. And then I started writing notes and then they were all laughing. What's the point? You're not speaking instead of, and then I used to look, my goodness, there are so many piles of chits which I'm writing. So I said, no, I'm going to stop that. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something after that set in. Literally something kind of opened up. And I learned one biggest mantra of spirituality. It's just 3 words. I might have heard it 100 times, many times. But that was the time I literally got that. It clicked. It doesn't matter. Literally, anything which comes to it doesn't matter. Someone did that, doesn't matter, Gokul. It doesn't matter. This happened, seriously, it doesn't matter. It's not, because now you have your goal slowly getting more and more clear. It's only now this many more days to go. I have to be silent. I have to be silent. Used to go to college, and even in college I was just be silent, and they say, okay, it might be anyway. People don't even sit in class, and in colleges there in India, they're all there in the canteen or going somewhere. So it was, hey, good for me, you know, just be in silence. But later on, there was a new leaf which I was turning. I could really understand what it means, that growing pains, that birthing of a new flower, or the butterfly coming out of a cocoon. That was the moment. And understand why Dadi gave this thing. And in our center, slowly people start to drop off from this wow, which as class everyone has taken. After a month, there were only 5 of us who were left, still continuing with this vow. And after a month, I didn't want to come out. I got used to this beautiful new me which was emerging. Very profound. Because then I got this mantra, which kind of started helping me. It doesn't matter. Anything, it doesn't matter. Every time I was so fuzzy with food, I have to fight with my mom. Mom, why idli again? Seriously, mom. Well, I don't have complaint anywhere else, but I think mom is our box punching bag, right? We can always fight with our moms. I don't know many of the kids who they do here or not, but hey, Indian kids are horrible, I think, in that way. I don't know. I kind of, my punching bag is my mom. Mom, seriously, who eats this? No, nothing. It's there in the plate. I eat. It doesn't matter. And my mom is what's happening with my kid. And literally, because the beauty is with my dad, it's awesome. Because anyway, we don't talk. Because he was a typical Indian dad who will be like, I need to be with a serious face, strict figure, because these are three boys. So, the only communication we have is early in the morning. He will just ask, did you have your breakfast? Yes, good. That's it. And then I'll hear this again, the same line next morning. And till then, there's no communication anyway. And because he used to do 2 jobs, he did put a lot of effort in raising us. And when he comes after 2 jobs back home, we all would be asleep. And we could hear only a few things, because if we did anything mischievous, we'll go to bed very early, because we know, oh, mom will complain, because that's a trick which mom will play. Let dad come. I'm gonna show you, right? So that's a typical. So then if we were mischievous, we go to bed early, and then dad comes, and then my mom starts to pour out her complaints. But only one thing which he always asks is, it doesn't matter, but did they have their food? He's only worried that we are having our food and good grades. Other than that, he doesn't care if we break anything, this thing, which we later on we figured out after we grew up. So it was all mom's trick to paint him as a tough taskmaster. But the beauty was like, mom was kind of concerned, and she thought, oh my God, what's happening with my kid? He's not speaking. Now what, he will lose his voice? Now what he'll... So he tried everything in her bag of tricks to make me speak. I said, no, I'm not going to speak. And she said, when my dad came, Gokul is not speaking. It's at least been a month. There's something wrong. You need to talk to him. I said, okay, tomorrow I will. So I know something is coming up. So you wake up at early morning, Amrit Vela, you sit in meditation. And Baba was giving the same thing. You learned your mantra. It doesn't matter, Gokul. The whole purpose was for this, to learn this mantra. I said, okay. And then I went, I had my morning routine, everything. And then while coming, my dad said, Gokul. I said, yes, Dad. He looked at me. I looked at him. Said, okay, and he left. All I have to do is, yes, Dad. He's fine with it. Mom keeps saying things, that's okay. He's fine. And that's all. With that one yes, Dad, I can still continue with my silence again. So my mom is now confused. So what, it is just me whom you doesn't speak? Well, that's what it is then. So the beauty slowly start to emerge from the struggle, slowly to beauty, and then you start to relish. And then most important thing, there is growth in spirituality. And after 3 months, that was January 31st, sorry, December 31st, I think. I'm so bad at dates. And anyway, even today, if you ask our sister there in Secunderabad, she still recollects these moments. She says, yeah, we still remember only 2 people out of our entire centers could do it, go into silence. So they made a huge this thing out of it, a coming out ceremony, like coming out of silence into the world. So we just take opportunities to create celebration, right? Brahmins all just need an excuse. So even this was an excuse. Yep, there are these 2 souls who were in silence for 3 months, and they're coming out of this. So they first wanted me to say something, and I felt, wow, It was so difficult to come into sound. I was surprised that it can be this difficult to come into sound, to speak, and just 3 months. That's when I understood the word embryonic growth, right? When the fetus, as a being, when you're in mother's womb, that is the time when the maximum growth is happening to you. And you're totally in silence. In that silence, the growth happens. And that is exactly what I felt. Why silence is needed for growth. And the way I could understand, look, analyze Baba's Murlis was so profound. Now, at the drop of the hat, if given an opportunity, I'll go back. And I want to do that silence all over again, but I never get an opportunity. But now the system and methodology has changed. It's not just now silence of the mouth, it's stillness of the mind we are achieving now more. So that was my first thing. And then I understood when I was concentrating on something else was getting disappeared. It's being removed out of the soul. My only concentration was to be in silence, to be in Baba's remembrance, to not to speak, not to speak. Very mundane thing, literally. If you really look at it, yeah, I'm not going to put any words out here. So what, this will there, people will give different things. Yeah, you are just this. So what about this? You are still thinking, oh, what is that going to? I can have many excuses on not to do it. But the whole point was, let me do it. Why Dadi said it. So there's some reason, there's some secret. But while doing it, I understood, oh my God, many of the sanskars I could at least understand, I could see. And without you understanding, it's gone. That's when I understood the logic of God. Right? There's a very popular story which made sense to me at that moment. I might have even shared this story many a time, but no harm in sharing again, right? The story goes something like this. There is this person who is a skinny, lean guy like me, asking and praying God and always meditating and always talking about God, being with God, trying to at least be what God wants to be. One day God appears and tells him, okay, I'm pleased with you. I have a task for you. I'm like, wow, really, God, tell me. Do you see that big rock over there in the mountain? I said, yes, I see that. Yeah, push it. I said, sure, I'm going to do that. Next day, I gathered a huge crowd and I said, God asked us that we need to move that mountain. You know what? I'm going to do it. Are you all with me? They said, dude, I don't know what you're on. You're on your own. Go ahead. We are not helping you. I said, no, it's God. See, it's going to move. Because God gave me this clear direction that the rock has to be moved. So the guy goes and starts pushing the rock. Nothing happens. Then the next day, the third day, 1 week, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, he keeps pushing. Not even a single inch, the rock moves. And this guy's disappointed. God, you don't exist. You asked me to push the rocks. There should be a reason. Why is nothing happening? There is not even a single moment in that rock. So that means you don't exist. Very dejected and was mad with God. And God appears again. So what's your problem? So you asked me to move the rock. Did I ask you to move the rock? Yeah, you asked me to push, didn't you? Hold there. What I asked is to push the rock. I didn't ask you to move the rock. To move the rock, I myself can move it. I don't need you. I want you to push the rock, because look at you, how lean you are, how thin you are, how skinny you are. And even for me to call you my disciple, I'm ashamed. I want you to be healthy. So first, let me make you healthy. So how am I going to make you healthy? Yeah, first push the rock, build some muscles, be healthy. This is how God works, right? He asks you to do the task, and we get task oriented. This needs to be accomplished. This needs to be done. That needs. The whole purpose is not the task. Task, he will get it accomplished. The whole purpose is you, his children. He's so attached to us. He knows what muscles to move so that how he can cleanse a certain part of you and change the sanskars. Right? So there are four things, according to my understanding. You all may know much better, but from me, from going through this journey and understanding, to cleanse our sanskars or to remove our sanskars, basically, there are four things which should happen, right? The first thing is to seek knowledge. You should know that, hey, there is the sanskar in me, right? Unless you know it, there is no way you can remove it, right? I've been living with my sensitive self for so long, till Dadi had to give a direction, till I kind of go into this, till I get, and I need to get that mantra on my own. Let it go. You all might have come and might have said 1,000 times, Gokul, don't be a touch me not forever. Let it go. Why are you holding on to it? It wouldn't make sense to me. So the first thing is to seek knowledge, right? That I have the sanskar, right? So now I understand, yeah, there is this thing in me. So what should be the next step? To get power to work on it. Many of us know our weakness. Even outside, they know their weaknesses. What are they doing about it? Nothing. Unless they are some real fresh souls from up above. No, you need the power to get really work on the sanskars, or else it's difficult, right? And then once you understand that, okay, this is my sanskar I need to work on. Now I need the power. I got the power. Third thing is you need to really kind of, what should I say, protect from external influences now. Because now the work has started. Anything, any type of work, when it starts, you cordon off that area, you protect the area, you make it, right? Even in construction. The roads, if there is a part of the road which is under construction, they will cordon off, they will protect it, they will do anything. If you're doing a paint job, yeah, you need to protect the area. That's a very important part of it. We shouldn't underestimate that third step, right? So what's the third step? You protect from external influence, because now you are started a journey. There is a working of sanskars is happening. So the third most important thing is you protect from external influence. And then fourth and most important thing is you should have people to give you feedback. Definitely, there should be someone who will tell you, who should be there, you can push it and see this is working, this is good, right? So what are the four things? First thing is to seek knowledge. Second thing is power. You need to get the power. Third thing is you need to protect from external influences. And fourth thing, you need to get feedback, right? And I think by now you all figured out what the four things I'm talking about. Did you? Yes? No? Yeah? Jnana, Yoga, dharana, seva. Right? These are the 4 things. That's what Baba has given. Knowledge. Why Baba is every day Murli? Why are we listening to Murli? This is when many times when you read the Murli, how many of you seriously felt today's Murli was for me? We all felt it, right? Yeah, it's like, oh, this was for me. Because this is how we are seeking knowledge, that dude, there is a sanskar, work on it. There is a sanskar in us. I need to work on those sanskars. And the second thing is I need to have power. That's why yoga is important. You have to sit, whether you like it or not, beat yourself up, sit in solitude and remember and connect to Baba so that you internalize, you get that power. You get these nuggets like I got. Baba gives you these simple things. You understand certain things, you hold on to it and you get that power. And third thing, to protect yourself from external influences is your dharana. How many of you like tolerance? Right? We all do like tolerance, right? But think again. Seriously, you like to be tolerant? Because tolerance for us is still a virtue. It's not a power. What's the difference between a virtue and power? When you are working towards it, it's a virtue. When it starts to work for you, it's a power. We can be tolerant 1 time, 2, 3 max, maybe 4. And then we'll snap. That means it's a virtue. Yeah, tolerance I can tolerate. But look at our dadis, right? I don't know how many of you had the opportunity to see some of those dadis. So that's why it becomes very difficult for the generation who saw them. Because now we have to live up to them. Because the next generation would say, we didn't see Dadi, you saw, hello, something need to trickle down to us. What are you giving us? That's a valid question people can ask. The next generation who will come, they will say, you saw Dadi. Ah, yeah, I had experience with Gul Dadi. Oh, really? Yeah, I saw Janki Dadi. Oh, really? Yeah. And Prakash Mani Dadi. Yeah, I might have. Really? Yeah. Then give back to us. Oh, really? Now there comes the break. We saying that we met the Dadi is not good enough. Now the second thing is, yeah, if you took from Dadi, that needs to trickle down to the next generation. That becomes difficult. So the third thing, which is to protect yourself from external influence, is your dharana. That is, for me, my dharana is, yes, this is my discipline. Me being tolerant is not for virtue or anything. This is my discipline. Me not doing a certain thing is not for anything else. This is for me. I'm being in that protective area. Why I don't do certain stuff, why I shouldn't eat certain stuff, why I shouldn't. No, this is because you somewhere decided that, yeah, I need some new thing, new construction to happen inside. You need to protect yourself. This is why dharana is very important. I think you all should request Harsha Bhai to kind of organize more sessions just on dharana, and because this is very important, where you understand each dharana, why Baba has given different dharanas for us. Anything, why we do a certain way, why we think a certain way, why we behave a certain way. Because this is what we are protecting ourselves, because the work has started. And when the work has started, we need to, because now our virtues are slowly being risen to the level of power. And you will be very tender during those moments. especially when you're in that journey, when you're working, it'll be very tender. There is an effect where you can break. You can see certain things, experience certain things, and you might feel, no, that's why to be in that protected way, dharnas are important. So have a very clear understanding of dharnas, what Baba is saying and why I should need to protect myself. And then the last thing is, yes, you figured it out, you got the knowledge, you got the power, you protected yourself. Now you need to safely experiment what you're doing. That is seva. Until as a family, you put 4 people together and start doing a project, you will never know what you have learned. You have to come together. 4 people sit together and start washing dishes. Seriously. You all have to go and start doing manual work. Go there, leave your ego aside. If you're a very big computer engineer, a CEO of company sitting here listening, good. Go to Anubhuti and start off with mopping the floor and washing the dishes. Seriously, start there. Very important thing. Because that's when you should know what are the things I need to work on. Because there are certain things, like I said, you know your sanskar. There are certain other things which others will know. Especially, you have children, if you have spouse, ask them your sanskar. They will be bluntly, they can tell you, dude, you have this. You have this problem. And there are many other things which we are totally blindsided. We won't even know that it exists. That's why seva field is very important. It's in a controlled environment. That's the beauty. It's not out there in the world. It's with the same people who are in the same journey. We are all coming together and we take a purpose and we say, you know what? Let's do this. Because why? We are never seeing each other. That's the beauty of the way Baba created the yajna, right? We are not looking at each other. We look at the same direction. We will put the circle and we'll sit together in a circle and we discuss plans. And once the plans is over, we will straighten the cycle. We will look at Baba's picture and we will meditate. We never look at each other. We always looking at Baba. So in a controlled environment, we are working on ourselves. You bring out a project is created, you be there and you ask certain things. Sisters will tell you this and brothers will say this thing to happen. There are many things. And that is the moment you understand what you worked on. So these are the 4 stages. Before I continue, it's already 17 questions. Anything which needs to be clarified or any questions?
Beautiful. Thank you, Gokul Bhai. So you nicely touched on some of the topics, especially on the topic of sensitivity, right? And especially those who have been on this journey for 84 births or like big marathon by itself. And in a way, so we have been seen the worst and the best of both sides. And we might have figured out our way to how to navigate through all of these things. So we might have created a lot of guardrails around some of the sensitive parts around us to protect ourselves, right? Like it is like some people, some of the way to say is like anger is a defensive mechanism, or fear is a defensive mechanism to protect yourself from something which you feel there is a threat for, right? And this is just an approach, but what we are threatened with, there are a million things that we might be threatened with. And especially when we are on a long journey, we have seen a wide varieties of things, and we might have created different ways to protect ourselves, and sanskaras will behave in a different ways, right? And sanskara is not just like, oh, you have like anger, greed, ego, and this kind of stuff, but it has different variations of that, how it shows up, right? So would like to hear from you, especially on this topic of sensitivity, right? And sensitivity is especially when it is exposed, like when a band-aid is ripped off, and then you'll see that when the wound is exposed, and somebody comes and says like, oh, what is that thing? And then pokes it up, and then it's just, oh my God, you touched. That is when we get more touchy and sensitive and all of the stuff, right? And and then I really like what you pointed out, like it has to be in a controlled way. It does not mean that you just open up yourself and then you pour yourself out on everything and everyone, right? And then it is not also going to serve you, right? So you have to open up. Like I really like what you pointed out, like go into silence, reflect on yourself, get to know yourself. What is it, right? And then slowly start working on it little by little. Don't just open up the rip off the band-aid, and then it may rip off the whole wound, and you may get infection and all that stuff, right? So if you can uh, guide us through some of the subtleties, like how much to open up, who to open up, and especially on the topic of sensitivity, and if you have any personal incident where things happened, and then you say like, oh, when this thing happened, I started working on this thing, right? And one of the things you always use to say, and then it worked for me for a while, is once Daddy said like, juk juk,
Mar mar sik
mar
sik.
sik. Right? So and that mantra, I say like, oh, it is not going to work for all the things, but there are some places where I say like, I'm going to use this, and it worked definitely, right? So,
Beautiful
and
question.
especially when I figured out like, yes, I know that this is a problem. I don't care what their problem is, but I know I have a problem. I think this is a solution for this situation. Let me use it here.
Yeah.
So if you can go into some of the tips like this, like in this situation, we have to use this. And if you use juk juk, and especially when you are low self-esteem, you fall further down. It won't work there, right? So when to use what mantra, right? And if you can go around that.
Sure, definitely. I definitely don't have an answer for that, but definitely I'll try to give from what I understood. Because if I get an answer to that, then believe me, I'm next to Brahma Baba. I'm there.
You're always already there, brother.
Yeah. Then I can say, Brahma Baba, move aside. I'm here. You know what? I did it. So I don't have an answer, but I can tell you what at least I'm thinking, and you all can help me too in navigating through this beautiful question which Harsha Bhai asked. See, the first thing I understand is be brutally honest with Baba. Expose your wound. Show yourself what you are to Baba. Use your Amrit Vela time to only do this. This is what I am, Baba. Or this is what I think I am. You have to use it because he's the supreme surgeon, and Baba always says in Murli, you cannot hide from surgeon, right? At least we are lucky. We don't have Brahma Baba or Gulzar Dadi. So you are lucky. Now you can just be there and be there. Like imagine if Brahma Baba is a, wow, the amount of courage you should take to go before a person, and then you look at everyone, and then Baba, I have this weakness. What should I do? Now you don't. You just need to go and sit in Baba's room. It's so easy. So be brutally honest with God, with you, Baba. Baba, this is what I'm struggling. This is what it is. And then be ready to get some difficult answers. Be ready. Yeah, this will be an answer and I'm ready to take it. Because the most important thing with Baba is he doesn't have a body. So that means he can use anybody. Did you get it? The beauty of that. He doesn't have a body. That means literally he can use anybody. That's why, how many of you figured this out in today's Murli? It was so beautifully, just the first line itself, I was just sitting with that and I was reeling into that effect of when Baba said, be bestowers of happiness, right? That's the first line. And continue to forget your bodies. Go back, read that line, sit with that line, be bestowers of him. Yeah, I need to give happiness, I need to give happiness. And the next what he's asking, forget your body then. You give happiness and then you have to forget your body. Then you're saving yourself. We can do a whole workshop just on this line. Bestower of happiness and forget your body. Why? What happens during that period? Because Baba, why he always says, I only look at souls, I only look at souls. And just because he doesn't have a body, we literally tone him down. But no, we need to notch him up. Because he doesn't have a body, he can use any body. We don't know where my next direction is going to come from. Right? When I have some, I still remember when I was there in San Francisco and I used to sit with, Chandruben, and she would throw all these nuggets at us. Shows these beautiful little nuggets, and sometimes I'm frustrated, anger, little fights which we brothers have, which is very important. And Chandruben, she can handle we brothers like this because it's God, right? How God, and sometimes I just go to Anubhuti and literally Hema Ben will come and say certain things and take us in another thing and give us a nice, and you get. And Elizabeth Ben comes and she shares something. Because God can use anybody. How many times I still remember I was looking at something, I was thinking something, and Harsha Bhai comes from his office and then he says, hey, Gokul Bhai, how are you doing? You know what? And then he shares something and then he goes to his room and like, wow, where did that come from? That was a beautiful nugget he threw at me. Because it's not these people, it's not Harsha Bhai, it's not Chandruben, it's Baba. When you're working something, he also is trying. Okay, that's why, right? Baba is now eagerly saying, child, come on, get out of your body and come and sit with me so that I can give directions directly and you can take it directly. Or else he has to use so many bodies. And he's giving these instructions. So first thing is, try to be brutally honest with Baba. And he is a living energy for us. He's not a dead energy. Right? When I say dead energy, it means someone was there and gone. Rama was there and gone. Krishna was there and gone. Jesus was there and gone. Shiv Baba is there and gone. No. Shiv Baba is there. Period. It is his yagya. It's still continuing. It still belongs to Baba. As long, the only question I ask is Satyug there yet? No. Then its task is still on. He said he's going to bring golden age. The rest, it doesn't matter who is there, who left, who has been, what is there. Nothing matters. You open your eyes and say, is golden age around? No, then his work is still on. That means he's still working. And maybe he's in double force. So be brutally honest with Baba, sit with him, open your wounds, show him. He's the supreme surgeon. And then be ready for his medication. It might be a little painful, there might be something, but that's okay. Trust. Because even remembrance, look how he has used it today in the Murli. It was so beautiful. He said, let me first say it in Hindi and then I'll try to translate. I don't know if the translation will come out good, but you all can help me. He says, Bade Dheeraj, right? This is what he's used the word Dheeraj, Gambhir, or Samajh se yaad karna hai. It literally kind of said, Bade Dheeraj. Dheeraj means lot of patience. Gambhir. Gambhir means in its seriousness. You can't take it lightly. Or Samajh. Samajh is understanding, true understanding. Se yaad karna hai. With these three things, your remembrance should begin. When you're sitting in remembrance, but bahut dheeraj, lot of patience. right? And then Gambhir. Okay, thank you for that. Anuja Ben just said sincerity. Yeah, sincerity, that kind of goes well. Be very sincere in your effort to remember. Or samaj. Samaj is understanding what is it which I'm remembering and what exactly is he. That's why dadis used to give, Janki Dadi says, main kaun, mera kaun. End of story. Boom, your intellect is stabilized. 2 questions. Who am I? Whom do I belong to? You go into that and you understand. Right? And again, Baba throws these little things where he says, let the body end in remembrance of the one. Right? So beautiful, he said, right? Today's Murli. Body end. Let the body end in remembrance of the one. This is known as solitude. Look how he's redefining these terms for us. Solitude is what? Your body should end in the I'm remembering. And then you look at him, you look at the being, there shouldn't be a difference. It kind of merges. And you leave the body with his remembrance. So there are so many nuggets, so many things which Baba kind of gives. These are the pills which Baba gives. And then you work on it. And then Baba has given these. If you don't understand, you ask someone. You ask your seniors. You ask your sisters. If still you are not happy with the answer, wait, it will come. It has to come. Because this is the only shop, unfortunately or fortunately, you have, and this is the only family you have, whether you like it or not. Right. So I'm looking at time. Any other questions? Any urgent thing which needs to be clarified? Is it okay, or did I confuse you all? Because I tend to confuse people a lot. So, thank you, Harsha. Bye. Thank you, everyone. Yes, Harsha. Bye.
So it's really beautiful how you put it together. And so there is a another tricky question that came up right now, which is around on the similar aspect. One of the thing is definitely once you sit in solitude, just observe yourself as your detached observer, what is bothering you, and then you can figure it out, and just open that thing to Baba, and then Baba will get the message through Murli or through somebody sharing or some class or somewhere. You get to hear what is the appropriate answer for that. And then the next thing is to act on it. You know what to do, you got to act on it, right? So now one of the sisters is asking is like, if the sanskara which I'm trying to deal with itself is about not acting, in other words, procrastination, right? So if it is like little carelessness, oh, I know, I heard that, been there, done that, or well, tomorrow, right? So how do you deal with that kind of sanskara, which is pulling us down further?
Good. If you figure it out, let me know too.
See, one thing I always enjoy is when I was listening to that question, I said like, yeah, this is the man who is going to answer this question. And I'll tell you why I was telling that, right? Like, one of the things is, if you guys know it or not, Gokul is very creative by nature. He always experiments with movies and songs and the themes, how the movie is composed, and how the director starts the scene and all that stuff, creative stuff, right? And at the same time, he's always happy. He tries to seek energy. I won't say solution. He tries to seek energy in the joy, right? And today also Baba is telling like kushi jaisi kurak nahi, like there is no medicine like happiness. I always saw him try to find some creative ways to access those moments or make a moment which makes you happy. right? Once you feel happy, there is a drive to have more of that, and then that jump starts the energy moving forward. And I think a couple of days ago also Baba was also telling about try to taste what it feels to be body led, try to taste what it feels to feel Baba. And when you taste it, then it catches up. It is not like being passive, being isolated, cut off from the society, and being lonely. And it is not that. It is about try to taste something different. That's what Baba is telling. Baba is not telling that go into isolation and go numb, right? Baba is telling that try to taste something more beautiful. Yeah, we tried all the worldly things. Yeah, we know how it feels like, but now try to taste the real thing. I'm here for the real thing. Try to taste it. And once you get a taste of it, you want more of it. And then Baba is giving different ways and means. And then I definitely want to point out, Gokul Bhai has that way, that knack of getting those things in. I mean, we have a brothers group. He always jumpstarts a conversation. He doesn't jumpstart a conversation like a traditional stereotype conversation. He just pokes around somebody and then steers up the conversation, and then it goes on, right? It keeps the energy alive, it keeps the conversation going, he keeps, and definitely conversation in the right direction, right? But and that is what is needed to keep on going on this marathon. Yeah, and then I always have a lot of respect for those, especially on this journey of Brahmin life, who stick around for a long time. That takes a lot of time. I mean, you may have seen a lot of people come, done a lot of miracles, been there, and then they moved on into the different phases, and then definitely they are going to come back. But those who know a way to stick around, maneuver through whatever the life faces or Maya faces us, we duck and then we maneuver through and all of this stuff. And that is what I actually say in Gokul Bhai. And Gokul Bhai, that is what is a question. And how do you maneuver through? And the topic is like, there are 2 more steps to go. And
Yes,
how do we get
Harsha,
through that
that
last 2
was a
steps?
beautiful way to say that, but I'm definitely not equipped to even answer that. Seriously, I'm not. But yeah, the thing is, see, procrastination, if I can kind of get out of it, wow, I, yeah, my 90% of the problem is all right. I'm the one who procrastinates so much. Maybe that could be the reason why I'm still sticking around. I'm so procrastinated that, come on, don't you want to get, nah, I'm happy. On a serious note, it is what Baba is pushing us into, right? Because Baba has a huge helper with him, and that is drama. And believe me, right now, you all might be thinking you are procrastinating. I'm lazy. I don't want to do it. Oh boy, believe me, give some time, It'll push you. It is bound to push you, because or else you won't even be there in the spot. You can try to be lazy or you can try to procrastinate. You might be thinking, and that might be a no, somewhere something will slowly stir, and then it'll grow, and then it'll move, and then it'll push, and then it'll expand, and then it'll corner you. And without you knowing, one fine day you are out. And and that's why I like what Hema Ben says. You know, it's always better to be a slow coach than a fast in, fast out. She has a good slogan for that,
Fast in,
right?
fast out. Yeah, that is very good.
Yeah, that's her
Yeah, she
slogan.
even tells that don't go so fast,
Yeah, she kind of,
slow
because
down.
when we had a
Yeah.
brother, when we were all staying there, Harsha Bhai would know. There was a brother who is like, does this programs and this and that and pushes things. And yeah, I'm like, no, it's okay. Yeah, come on, slow down, take it easy. So I wasn't like pushing myself to do something great. And that brother, he can create programs like this. And if he churns out these programs and ideas, and here I'm 84 births, been there, done that, I'm happy. Give me a task, I'll just do it, and don't push me into anything. So yeah, that's what it is. So that's the beauty of yagya. We have someone like Dadi Janki, who is like, go getter, do it. And then we have Gulzar Dadi, who's silent, and both have reached their stage, right? That's the beauty. So I cannot look at someone and say, yeah, don't be like that, be like me. No, nor everyone should be like me. So there is a beautiful way where Baba weaves this. So that's, I always say, you try as much as possible to be in that state of procrastinated, so-called lazy state. No, you won't. You won't. A time will come when Rama and Baba will push you. Why do you think you even became a Brahmin just like that? No, he has his plans. We think we have our plans. We are just here. There are 90% of the things which are happening right here above. Our ancestors, our
All gone.
seniors. When I say here, it's up in there, right? We don't even know what's happening there. Who are our ancestors? So what are they doing at these moments? What are our, no clue, right? And then some of our dadis go, and then immediately the yagya shifts. And then it kind of goes into a new direction. Brahma Baba leaves, boom, yagya shifts in a different direction. We have no clue. We only know something which we are doing here, and we take it very personally. That's why I say, come on, relax, loosen up, because we are doing only 10% of the thing. 90% of the things, there are these people who are up above who are doing it. So until we leave the body, we would never know, I guess. So yeah, thank you
So
again, looking at the time.
We have a few more questions coming up. Manaben, would you like to ask the question?
And if I lose my Amrit Vela tomorrow, you all need to be blamed. No, that's okay. Go ahead, please. Yes.
Manaben, Sister Mary, let me unmute everyone so that if anyone have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself.
Oh, there was a question yesterday, Smurley, about that. If you go back into your old sanskars, and they said it's like you're going to a coma. So seeing hard to hear, because I've gone back and forth many times.
So by the question is more around Baba is telling that don't go back
to your old sanskars.
Old
Right? See, you need to.
it is as if that we are going back into coma.
So many years, you end up going back at least once or twice.
Yeah, and that's why Baba has to give these caution, right? These cautions, that's why Baba has to give. And these cautions, that's why it makes our life so beautiful and energetic, because he's right there saying, dude, you do this and this is what is going to happen. Like when Dadi Janki went to Baba and said, Baba, how many more years do I have left? Beti, you are not going to see the next Diwali. What? Seriously? Yeah, you are not going to see the next Diwali. And Dadi Janki still lives till her end. She lived by that principle that I am not going to see my next Diwali. So Baba's murlis are tailor-made for those people, and they get touched with those points, and that's how they kind of get to their next state. Right. So when Baba is saying, that's beauty of Sakar Murli. Sakar Murli, what was the context? Brahma Baba was there were people there, and according to their understanding, Baba used to give. Right? How many of you know that Baba never even said that I'm a point of light in Sakar Murli in the initial days? Later on, they came to understand that Shiva is a point of light. So Sakar Murli is the building block. So that's why Sakar Murli becomes very important. And when Baba says, you know what, if your sanskar is there, that's it. It's like you're going into coma. Because at that moment, there might be people who are kind of going into a certain sanskars, which are very dangerous for themselves. So Baba uses these words to kind of kickstart, jumpstart that soul to a certain realizations and understanding. Right? And that's why murlis are very important for you, because you will be touched by that point. And someone else get touched by a totally different point. Why? Because that is how the murli is weaved in a pattern, in a way where it touches you and it pushes you to a certain direction. So yeah, when you look at the word and say comma, so what is that comma? Am I going to a literal comma? Should I go into drips? Then would I be put? Should I start writing my will? No, you don't take it that way, right? It is like, what does comma represent? Someone who is in a vegetative state. Vegetative state means you are alive for the name of namesake, but there's nothing. So there are certain sanskars, and if you're still holding on to, you will be in a vegetative. Yeah, you are a Brahmin, you are a Brahmin, you're living, you're there, you are there. But what is it? Because it is a sanskar which you have to work on, which you did not. So this is how Baba points us and nudges us towards deeper realizations.
So we have a few more questions on the
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So Sister Anju was asking,
I don't have question.
alone and don't have enough opportunities to do Laukik physical seva, then would the Mansa seva, sending good wishes and Sakash?
Because, yeah, this is a good question. I'm reading this. This is where we all have to lead to. This is our final seva state, our Mansa seva, right? The rest is for us to get to that state of Mansa seva. So that's why the stepping stone is to get and work to where we are, whatever opportunities and this. And yeah, you keep asking Baba, you never know how Baba opens up, right? Because Baba's Murli directions, it's like a generic blend which is given to us, and then you will be touched. You will know what you need to do, right? We have that popular, famous example of Brij Mohan Bhai and Ramesh Bhai, right? They are the ones. And Baba's general direction is you shouldn't eat anything outside. So Brij Mohan Bhai went and said, Baba, I'm working in an office, so I have to, my manager calls me for coffee and tea. So what should I do? So Baba said, yeah, you can drink coffee and you can drink tea with your manager because he's your manager. So you have to respect that. So Ramesh Bhai heard that, oh, okay, so chai is allowed then, I can drink tea then. And then one day when Brahma Baba learned that he's drinking tea from outside, Brahma Baba got, who gave you the permission to drink? Baba, Brij Mohan is drinking tea, so I can't. No, he's different tea. You yourself is the boss. You cannot drink. So it's all tailor-made, where you understand Baba's directions and then he gives you. So even the seva, like why am I not able? No, there is something in there. And yes, whenever you have such a question, you can reach out, right? You have these brothers, sisters, you reach out and you talk to Sukanya Ben, Hema Ben, Elizabeth Ben, and tell them, yeah, I feel this. You'll be touched, you'll be moved. And that's when you take the right step. Believe that. It'll happen.
Lata Ben?
I want to say something.
Yeah.
You were fortunate to have your little bit training with Dadi and in Madhuban. So atmosphere is different and we are on Zoom. So it's gonna make a big difference because we don't get that touch what you got it.
You mean, see, with Dadis and all, see.
Atmosphere is different completely. I've been to Madhuban, so
Right.
I know it.
Yeah, see, that is why too much of something is also not too good, I guess, right? Because what do you think? That's in Madhuban, since we have Dadis and all there, then everyone in Madhuban should be equal to Bab Dada, right?
Yes.
But they are not. See, that thing is.
No, but I think it's a holy atmosphere itself.
Yes. So
It's
everyone has their duty, right?
As soon as you enter, you can feel it.
Yes, because that is, everyone has their duty, right? That's why their Baba's presence is there. But then where will the seva happen? Seva will happen where Lata Ben is there.
Oh,
Lata Ben has to go out. Lata Ben has to give there. Lata Ben has to live in the family. Lata Ben have to interact. So where does Baba's intellect goes? Like, yeah, my children in Madhuban, they are fine. But hey, I need to be with Lata so that she is the one. That's why in every Murli Baba says that, gives the example of Badal, right? You fill in here in Madhuban and then you go out and then you shower. And many people, like Baba says, there are people who are striving, they kind of really kind of cry out for Baba that Baba, you need to be there. So Baba says, yeah, I'll be there. Bandeliyon ke saath mein rehta hoon. Baba loves Bandelis, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So we are more fortunate. Yeah, Madhuban, it's only
No, we are
Baba.
fortunate living this far. We are still getting knowledge and everything.
That's all. That's
So
all.
we are fortunate.
Do kadam aur sahi.
And that we say that tolerance is a virtue, right? It's not a power. But when we you churn all the powers of our soul, then we say that tolerance, power to tolerate. And please, I don't know much about this one as you people are, but this I want to just the clarification that this tolerance is a virtue or is a power. When we say one power is a power to tolerate is a power of the soul, one of the power of the soul. So
Right.
that's my question.
See, tolerance is tolerance, right? It's simple. You know what tolerance is. But here's the question. The question is, do you feel you're tolerating? If the answer is yes, then it's a virtue. If the answer is no, it's a power. A person who is tolerating, he should not feel that he's tolerating. Even inside, there shouldn't be even a flutter that you are tolerating. Then it has turned to the level of power. Then power means you are in control. You yourself will be in control and people around you will be in control because of your tolerance. That's why look at the beautiful tree example they have given, right? A person who is tolerating will never work on their tolerance. I need to tolerate, I need to tolerate, I need to tolerate. That means it's only a virtue. You can tolerate 4 or 5 times and then be ready to snap out. You will snap. But my work is not, my concentration is not even there to tolerate. My concentration is only to fill myself. The tree's only duty is, it says, let me strengthen my roots. That is where its focus is. Its focus is not on tolerating. Strengthen my roots, go in deep, spread it around, go where water is, take itself, take the sunlight, go photosynthesis. This is where its focus is. And the result which others see is, wow, it's tolerating so much. Whereas you, when you ask the tree how much you are tolerating, seriously, I don't tolerate anything. I'm just filling myself to be full, right? When you are planning to start a garden, when you want roses around your house, your mind shouldn't be even on roses. You should think everything other than roses. You need to think dirt. You need to think manure. You need to think water. You need to think everything which is dirty. That's where your work is. Your work is on there and the end result is the flower. That's the beauty of garden. So similarly, tolerance means you're not even focusing on tolerance. Your focus is everything around it. How to fill myself more with Baba, how I need to get more my roots strengthened, how I need to be full, the soul should be full. When you are totally full, the soul is full. When someone comes and says some things and go, you don't even care that someone said something, do you? No, because you're so full. Yeah, you are
but
so
that's
happy.
very, very upper stage, we can say, right?
No, it's a very, no, these are the states we always come in glimpses and go. Right, little glimpses and go glimpses, because that's how it slowly increases when you're totally full, totally happy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gokul.
We can have a meditation. I can guide us through. Yeah.
Let's sit back, center ourselves. Just refocus the center of the forehead. I am a soul. A tiny, sparkling, conscient being. And this being is the one handpicked by God. Just sit with this one line. I, the being, is handpicked by God Himself. How does it feel? If you are doubting this line, then you're doubting God. He needs the material to build a better tomorrow, the future. And we are His bricks. He has the plan. You need not. He has the idea. I need not. He can do the heavy lifting. You need not. All I need to do is to be still and stay put in place and trust the Master. The Master Craftsman is at work. Rest assured, the new age has and will come. Have patience. Just 2 more steps. Om